Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the world of Raceface.Pro. My name is Stephen Kernick, glad to have you guys here, and welcome to the beautiful track of Donington Racing Circuit. But before we start tonight's proceedings with all the exciting racing to come, we'd like to take a moment to recognize one of our own, a family man, a loving husband, father, an avid motorcycle enthusiast and car enthusiast. One of the pillars in South African sim racing and in South African motorsport. For many that weren't too familiar, he's a multiple champion, he's a team leader, a mentor. We're going to take this opportunity to remember Ryan Ottens. Ryan Ottens passed away last night, and we wish to extend our prayers and condolences to the family, friends, teammates of Mr. Ottens, and recognize all that he has done in sim racing. Ryan Ottens was an avid rider from off-road to short circuit riding to long circuit on his BMW. It's gone up and down through the entire field, showing off multiple ways how to get to the top, and the competitive spirit has always been front and center. Moving on to sim racing, came into the rounds as a rookie with great potential and started racing with hybrid racing and quickly ascended the ranks as one of the top South African sim racers. After having his time in South African sim racing in the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione, whether it's banging doors or moving forward, he had the competitive edge to fight it out nonetheless. He took his opportunities and became a team leader of Alpha One Esports, later mentoring a lot of our current youngsters, going and showing them the ropes to be a part of it. Ambassador for EG simulators, with the great presence of showing moving forward. Ryan Ottens took his opportunity into the world of iRacing, represented South Africa in multiple different leagues across the world, fighting out against some of the best to ensure to hone his skills and take the South African flag to the top. Ryan Ottens then took the challenge into the world of iRacing here on Raceface.Pro, and once again showed a dominating effort from single-seaters to tin tops. We'd like to take this moment as a minute of silence for our fallen legend. And let us not mourn, but let us celebrate the man, the myth, the legend, the mentor, the driver, and not afraid to pull out a deck chair when he needs to in the middle of a fight and a conversation. Ryan, you will be dearly missed by all your competitors, by your family, your friends, and all that you have touched around the world. Thank you for all the dings. Thanks for all the scratches. Thanks for the moments of sunshine, and thanks for passing us around the outside or going for those dives. Keep up the amazing stuff. And thank you for taking that final checkered flag. You will be missed, but never forgotten. For those that want to know, the Raceface.Pro, in association with many, many others, will be having a tribute race to Ryan Ottens. So keep an eye on our social media for that to come through. And it has been noted by our entire supercars. Everyone has agreed that the championship will be shared by Ryan Ottens and the champion at the end of the season. So Ryan Ottens, congratulations for being the first iRacing Supercar champion. But I'm sure he's not going to be wanting us to be mourning like that. He wants to talk about the racing at hand. So while qualifying's underway and nearly done and dusted, let's take a quick look at the championship, because out for our BMW M2s, it's Robin Bricknick in first place, Maurice Pitcher in second, Jaco van der Lith running in third, Ron de Toya in fourth, Fabian Berwitt running in fifth, Nico Killerman, Robbie Teen, Stephen Cakebread, Noah Hendricks, Fanny Cravenstein, Etienne Swart, Werner Swart, Mario Rez, Willem Buerter, Doug Herber, Jonathan van Arswagen, Willem Pinar, Eugene Berryman, and Yuppie Simons running a little bit further down. Taking a look at our supercars, we have got Julian Familiaris going and running at the sharp end of the field with Ryan Ottens, our Season 1 winner of the Supercars Series and M2s of Alpha 1 Esports, our champion, who will be sharing the limelight with his teams and co-drivers. Werner Skuman running in third with Sergei Sarkov, Jan Krobler in fifth, Luke Lucchesi, Stephen Kutzer, Jan Ferry, Bradley Surley, Dimitri Pravadas in 10th position will be running it out. At the moment, Julian Familiaris leading out the pack to ensure that he keeps a dominating effort, but has got a bit of a problem in second place. Luke Lucchesi, 0.2 of a second off, followed by Paul Gerber in third, Sergei Sarkov running in fourth. Now taking a look at our BMW M2s, our little Davids against the Goliaths. It's Maurice Pitcher currently leading out the pack and hoping to put in his best lap times to ensure that he stays at the sharp end of the field. And he is currently put in 110.6. He's going to have to work hard there, as Brett Gildenhuys going to be coming at him with that 113.9, but it's starting to drop down at a rate of knots as he keeps the power down. Werner Swart running a little bit further back in third of his class. Fanny Cravenstein, Nico Killerman, Robbie Teens, Yaz Samai, Jean Engelbrecht, Stephen Cakebread, and Willem Pinar are rounding out our pack as the drivers make their way around the circuit. Luke Lucchesi back out on circuit with his RDSA Pantera and just getting a bit of a warm-up for those starts, which are going to be standing starts here at Donington, and going to be a rather difficult one, especially to get that proper pull-off into turn one. Late dives is going to be on the cards here. Who's going to be brave enough? Who's going to have those rapid starts throughout this entire race? So far, we've seen a couple doing it. Luke Lucchesi, Julian Familiaris, Ryan Ottens, all having those rapid starts, but cannot count out a few others, like Yasemai. He's had a few great runs to get himself towards the top, some unlucky times getting caught up in a few niggles, but is still on the charge. He's currently running in 12th position and hoping to put a little bit more of an impact as he goes and fights it out. A little bit further back from him is Jan Engelbrecht that will come across the line to try and put a time in. Unrik Seche coming in and saying it was a privilege to race with Ryan Ottens. Completely agree. Ryan Ottens definitely taught a lot of us a few things, including how to find that little bit of pace and where we're losing a lot of pace. Maurice Pitcher going and putting in his lap time, hoping to improve. Currently running second of the BMWs. Will this be enough? Dropping wheel just on the exit. Unfortunately, that is going to be him out of the running, and will have to be okay for the likes of second place in class at current time. So, as our drivers will be gearing themselves, getting ready for the racing action here at the World of Donington, Raceface.Pro, Werner Skuman, who is running third in the championship. And despite being a rival and also being a driver that has more than enough battle scars between him and Ryan Ottens throughout the years, still showing a huge amount of respect to the alien Ryan Ottens. Many of us couldn't figure it out. We had to try and see whether he was running grip hacks or not, and proved us all wrong. Well, let's take a look at our grid, though. Julian Familiaris will start out the pack in first place, and as current leader in the championship, has got Luke Lucchesi going to be keeping him company on the first row. Paul Gerber running in third. Sergei Sarkov will be running in fourth. Dimitri Privadas, and then first of our BMWs, Bert Hildenace, running in 6th with Maurice Pitcher, Werner Swart, Fani Cravenstein, Nico Killerman, Robbie Teens, Yaz Samai in 12th. A little bit further down, we got Jan Engelbrecht, Stephen Cakebread, Willem Pina, and Noah Hendricks rounding out the pack. So our drivers getting ready to go. Julian Familiaris will be lining up, and they won't be doing a standing start. They will be doing a rolling start, and I've got a funny feeling that is for the protection of not going into one another off the start. So a choice from our teams to ensure that we can keep the cars going. Also showing a little bit of a lap of formation for Ryan Ottens. You'll note a few of the cars dressed in black as a remembrance and acknowledgement to the current supercar champion. And that's for Ryan Ottens. So a big thank you to all the drivers and spectators for taking this opportunity to be part of it and ensuring that they are wearing the colors. So thank you once again to our amazing drivers who are gearing up to get going. As everyone heard, there was a asking what is going to be it, and we are getting ready to rock, roll, and rumble. As gridding begins, safety car will pull off. It'll give people enough time to get a bit of heat into those tires and into those brakes as they get ready to lunge into turn 1. It is going to be a close fight for round 3 of the championship. Luke Lucchesi, Julian Familiaris, locking down the front row, will be chased down by Paul Herber and Sergei Sarkov, who will battle it through. Dimitri Privadas will be rounding out the tail of our Gen 3 supercars. Bert Hildenace and Maurice Pitcher will be lining up the front row of the BMWs with the likes of Werner Swart, Nico Killerman. Fani Cravenstein will have a good go at him. Yaz Semi, Robbie Teens. Unfortunately, Noah Hendricks didn't make it to the grid. So he will be starting from pit lane as our drivers maintain their side-by-side formation behind the safety car, taking this time to get ready to go. And our Gen 3 supercars with Luke Lucchesi, remembering Ryan Ottens, hoping to get the jump on the current leader of the championship, Julian Familiaris, who wants to share that cup with Ryan Ottens as we go green flag racing for round 3 here at Donington. And it is an absolute launch for Julian Familiaris a little bit further back. Bert Hildenace going to be feeling a little bit of pressure as he has got Maurice Pitcher coming at him. Luke Lucchesi stuck on the outside, and immediately Paul Herber trying to come back at him goes and tucks into 3rd place. Dimitri Privadas followed by Sergei Sarkov on the way through. Bert Hildenace and Maurice Pitcher going to be fighting it out side by side in the BMW M2 CS as they try and go stomping on the brakes to get it all sorted out. Fani Cravenstein just keeping in the toe, feeling the pressure from Yaz Samai closely behind. Nico Killerman going and keeping the charge, and it will be a huge run for them as they march their way through. Maurice still doing everything he can. A little bit further back though, Nico Killerman trying to get the drive on Yaz Samai. Couldn't quite do it in the Jutech sim racing machine. We'll have to wait out that little bit longer. Julian Familiaris starting to stretch the gap over Luke Lucchesi as the race continues for them. Paul Herber in a little bit of no man's land, but Dimitri Privadas has got Sergei Sarkov all over the back of him. Does a big launch into the final corner. Couldn't quite get it, but really put his nose in. And one I think Ryan will be rather impressed with as they go side by side a little bit further back. Bert Hildenace and Pitcher still going and charging after one another. As Sergei going late on the brakes. Inside line forces Dimitri on the outside, who loses out the drive. And Bert going and dealing with Maurice at the moment. Yaz Samai has got Fani Cravenstein looking on the inside. Couldn't quite get the pass done and dusted. Nico Killerman coming back at him, trying to figure out where can he get the drive at the moment. Currently lying 4th in class and hoping they can just push himself out a little bit more. So drivers are needing to really get that little bit moving and see how they can get a little bit more in this race. So absolutely great stuff for our drivers. Oh, that's Nico Killerman losing out the drive, and contact as well with one of our drivers. That is not going to work out for him. Nico Killerman having that side-on contact, and I think that was against Noah Hendricks, quite possibly, who landed up getting caught in that little bit of a shunt. So Nico Kilman down the order, then planned. Noah Hendricks going back to pits, and that does tell me the contact was between the two of them. And quite unfortunate, Stephen Cakebread. As let's quickly go back, and Cakebread returning to the circuit after coming off, trying to get himself going as well. So we did see him rejoin back onto the circuit. So Nico Kilman with that bit of damage, trying to catch up to Stephen Cakebread. Jan Engelbrecht going and running a little bit behind, hoping to run away. Julian Familiaris, though, keeping a good fight with Luke Lucchesi on the back of him, running in tow. Paul Gerber trying everything he can, fighting, nipping at the heels, hoping that he can just get that little bit more momentum underneath him to try and get the drive. Anything at this point to just go and close down that gap at a rate of knots, but it's going to be a difficult time out there, as we do see Noah Hendricks going and will be exiting the pits, which is fantastic to see. That never die attitude from Noah Hendricks, and embodies what sim racing is all about, and also wanting to get across the line here on such an incredible run, and also as a tribute to the exciting life of Ryan Ottens. We've also got a couple of comments coming through during the course of this 45-minute race, and while we look at Luke Lucchesi, Charmaine Lucchesi going and chatting about the incredible Ryan Ottens and his racing, how they had to keep an eye on all the action, especially how close he got to the fights, and will be keeping close in the hearts and the entire family as well. So a big thank you to Charmaine on that, and the entire Lucchesi family. So great to see there's still lots and lots of love pouring in, and lots of good racing out on circuit at the moment. Maurice Pitcher fighting for first place as he tries to get a little bit more drive. Stephen Cakebread having a go at Nico Kilman, who will be carrying a bit of damage after that contact. He's trying to just keep it going. Noah Hendricks was the driver to get himself sorted out. Unfortunately, had to get back into the pits. A little bit further back, Werner Swart onto the back of Robbie Teens, trying to push as hard as he can. And then you got Farney Cravenstein having a go at Yaz Samai, but not being able to pull away as quickly. They're going to really have to work it out. Luke Lucchesi, though, going for a bit of an attack on Julian Familiaris, pulling a little bit of motard style from the textbooks of Ryan Ottens there, going and sliding the car around, pivoting it on its nose, and just asking the rear tires to just live with it at this point, as Julian Familiaris trying to open up the gap. Luke Lucchesi constantly chomping at the heels, not going to break out of it just as yet. A little bit of dirty air going and twisting him a bit. You have to keeping that well in mind. A little bit further back though, Werner Swart and Robbie Teens fight it out for class win at this point, and it's turning into a very tough time for the likes of Robbie Teens, constantly watching his mirrors as Werner Swart continues to lay in the pressure, ensuring that he will not go back out of it. Those BMW M2 CSRs are all about momentum vehicles. You don't want to go and lose it. You haven't got a lot of power underneath you, so you need to carry enough through the corners, but at the same time, you don't want to land up going off track either. You will lose that grip and land into the world of, into the shadow realm of going towards the barriers. Not quite ideal circumstances for any racer out there, but Robbie Teens still maintaining his position, having to fight it out, still not backing out of the fight though with Werner Swart. Fonny Cravenstein losing the drive to Yaz Samai, but it is still first place of our BMWs. They are currently the closest out on track. Kilden Ace and Pritchard are absolutely throwing hammer and tongs at one another, and really trying to do everything that they can to step forward, as drivers will be continuing to battle on. Duncan Roderick also sending his regards to the likes of Ryan Ottens. Big thank you to you all tuning in, being part of the show, and remembering the times of the absolute legend. Nico Kilman going and getting caught up a little bit further down, exiting the pits after he's having to go and fight it out. We do see Jan Engelbrecht going and landing off circuit. So let's quickly take a look at this. This is Jan Engelbrecht all the way out in Cape Town. Lands into the dirt and recovers. But a little bit of understeer creeping in for him and trying to battle out. He's going to have to scrub those tires very, very clean as this race continues. But it is the lead of the race for the BMW M2s at current, with so far Maurice keeping that battle of Bert just ahead of him. Kildenace watching his mirrors, not able to get the drive just as he constantly putting the power down, hoping that he can just stretch that gap a little bit more and try and stay within the fight through it all. A little bit further back, and we have got, for our V8, Dmitry Provodis running in 5th. He's trying to catch up to the likes of Sergei Sarkov. Paul Herber a little bit further back. Luke Lucchesi is down away from Julian Familiaris at the moment, but trying to close up and braking to one of our BMWs, managing to get past the 901 of Noah Hendricks and saying thank you very much, as Noah Hendricks opening up that space allows Luke Lucchesi to go and try his best to hunt down our current leader, Julian Familiaris, who leads out the pack. Maurice going and still keeping the fight. The BMWs are really showing off a great bit of effort here to stick in for the fight, as first place for them is all on for the cards. And so far, it looks like Bert lost the drive. Maurice got the likes of the slipstream. Is this going to be enough? Heading down into turn 1. Going to be a right royal send. Can't quite do it. Fortunately, backing out, not wanting to lose out too much time. Look for the undercut. A bit of understeer. Carried him over to go side by side. He's still going to have a little bit of a look and gets the pass done. Bert backing out of that fight. Could not hold on to it. Werner Swart, Robbie Teens having a go at one another, and Werner Swart of Alta Carbon gets past Robbie Teens at current. Robbie hoping that he could still stay in for the fight. And Teens Nuts and Bolts is doing a great job out there to stay in for the fight, but Werner not going to back down from this one. He's going to try and open up that gap a little bit further, as we do see Yaz and Mai having a shot at Bert Kildenace. And Yaz will be hoping to run a little bit further up. So Yaz and Mai will hope to catch up to likes of Bert Kildenace. Sorry, that's Farney Cravenstein that's onto the back of him. The ETA Autosports that is trailing on with that striking orange as a bit of a tribute to the ways of Team Tryhard and their races there, as they fight it out yet again, going late on the anchors, trying to get through, and the S is just a bit of a nightmare if you can't line it up, and you can already see that dirt starting to build up on the fringes, as we do see our supercars making their way through. Here comes Julian Familiaris, and he has got Luke Lucchesi close up that gap at a rate of knots. Paul Herber trying everything he can to get a little bit of momentum, not to lose out too much the back markers. And Sergei Sarkov all the way from Lithuania going and keeping within the fights as well. Absolute carnage between drivers, first and second, third and fourth of our current BMW lineup, and also with the likes of Luke Lucchesi trying to gain that little bit of time, heading for our Gen 3 Supercars. Hildenace looks for the inside and couldn't quite get it, as Maurice going and ensuring that he can lock down their apexes as much as possible. Back onto the power though, and starting to open up the gap just a fraction more. Yaz Samai has got a problem, as Farney Cravenstein's on him, and Werner Swartz has joined the party. Robbie Teens has also made up a lot of ground, and suddenly we have got a 4-car fight heading for third place. Only one will be able to walk away with the points, and who is it going to be to take that final spot on the podium? After 45 minutes of racing so far, 11 minutes and 23 seconds have passed in this 45-minute race. And here comes Julian Familiaris and Luke Lucchesi, as they will try and go a little bit late on the anchors. They'll see the fight here. First up will be Robbie Teens to open up the gap, allow Julian Familiaris to get on by, but now Luke Lucchesi having to need to put the power down as quick as he can to clear it out. So Robbie Teens now has a bit of clear area ahead of him, and seeing Werner Swart and, oh, that's Willem Pienaar going side by side with Stephen Catebread. A little bit further, we saw it on our timing board. Side by side they go, and they do have one of our Gen 3 Supercars on the back of him, fishtailing around, trying to figure out where he can go to get past the battle. Yes, am I? Oh, contact! Huge contact! And that is Werner Swart. Robbie Teens gets away from the contact. Yes, and Fani Cravenstein all getting caught out on the pass. And what on earth happened? Let's quickly try and see what happened. So this is Werner Swart, as there's a bit of sideways for the 15. Oh, getting clipped. Unfortunately, yes, getting it sideways, and that clips Werner Swart, who bounces back into the likes of Fani Cravenstein. Oh man, that is a nightmare. A nightmare run for those BMW drivers, and they're going to have their way down the field. Julian Familiaris trying to carry his way through Luke Lucchesi, and what I think is when Luke and Julian were coming by, they went and put themselves in the middle. It went and threw the BMWs just slightly offline, just enough to upset those rears, and that was pretty much that. Then it was just a barrel through one another. A couple of drivers needing a bit of repair work on their car, and will be heading back out onto the track as soon as possible to be able to take the checkered flag. But currently that has promoted a few drivers, as Bert Kildeness and Butcher are still fighting it out for first, but Robbie Teens, who laid in waiting, now finds himself in a very positive situation of third in class and just carrying on. Willem Pienaar dealing with Stephen Cakebread at the moment. Stephen Cakebread looks for the inside, looks for the outside, switch back to the inside. He's going to try and carry the momentum through into the right-hander, but will foul up on the left. He's got to go late on the anchors to get it right, trying to go and straighten the car out. Didn't work out for him. Willem Pienaar gets the pass done and dusted, and now Engelbrecht immediately back in for the fight, closing down on them. Will get the momentum down the straight. Stephen Cakebread trying to go defensive on the outside line as Engelbrecht late on the anchors, swings the nose in. Couldn't quite get the drive on top of him, and will have to wait it out. Stephen Cakebread now trying to keep himself going, stuck in this middle fight, as Willem Pienaar will keep on the drive. So we do see a couple of drivers coming out of pit lane and rejoining the race. Fani Cravenstein being one of those. Oh man, that's Willem Pienaar going off circuit. So Willem Pienaar now off circuit, catching the car, but unfortunately down behind Stephen Cakebread and the likes of Jan Engelbrecht as they fight their way through, continuing the drive as they push themselves towards the front. Let's go through our running order though. After 15 minutes, it is still Julian Familiaris leading out the pack. Luke Lucchesi running in second. Paul Herber running in third. Oh, taking a big look on one of the BMWs. There's number 15 of Yaz Samai, who's recovering after the contact earlier on. Fourth place is Sergei Sarkov, followed by Dimitri Pavadis. First of our BMWs, Maurice Pitcher along with Bert Kildeness. Robbie Teens in third, Stephen Cakebread, Jan Engelbrecht, Willem Pienaar, Yaz Samai, Werner Swart a little bit further back with Fani Cravenstein, Nico Killerman, and Noah Hendricks rounding out the pack, still keeping in the fight nonetheless. And all these drivers showing off the absolute no-quit attitude of their comrade and competitor, Ryan Ottens, who stuck it out for the long haul in the races and was not afraid to take a few bumps and scratches and still carry on with huge amount of effort. And this is what the drivers are demonstrating, not only carrying that spirit and mindset into this race, but also their own of not wanting to back down. They are going to throw hammer and tongs at it all as they try and make their way around. Fighting Cravenstein stuck on the outside, trying to get a little bit of momentum. Luke Lucchesi gets on by, not getting fouled up too much there. Will continue on the pace. Closest fight currently out on track is Engelbrecht versus Stephen Cakebread at current down in our BMWs, as they carry a lot of momentum heading into the final two corners. Lock in, lock out, and go for it. As we jump on the roll bar of Stephen Cakebread, we'll see how much he's going to have to really slam on the anchors to try and keep this going. And it's going to be a bit of a wild ride on the way through. Hard on the anchors, swings the car in to turn one, lets it drift out wide, trying to minimize the amount of body roll. These cars do run on fixed setups, and they are all about the driver doing the work, not your setup to do it. So every single one, from the Gen 3 Supercars right through to the BMWs, is all on the driver, and how much momentum you can have. As Engelbrecht now lining himself, looked for the outside, couldn't quite get the momentum through. 4th gear on the way through, keeping it absolutely pinned. Going to go down the gears. 3rd gear, looking towards a high 3rd to keep the momentum up enough and still stay on the back of Engelbrecht just ahead of him. And let's even take a look at our V8. And this is our Gen 3 Supercars. Julian Familiaris, you can see a lot of work happening behind the wheel as he tries to keep the car steady throughout. No traction control, no ABS. It's all about how much throttle control you got and how good you are on the brakes to keep it up and going. And for the likes of Luke Lucchesi, who's tailing behind, will be going and shouting from the rooftops, hoping for the likes of Julian Familiaris to just lose that little bit of momentum and lose out the run. And a lot later on the brakes, he's carrying a lot of momentum through. I think Julian was going and expecting to run towards that BMW just ahead of him and didn't want to get caught out too much. Now the RDSI Pantera Racing driver looks to try go late on the brakes. He looked for the inside line, wasn't close enough. We'll have to wait patiently. Oh, cross arm on the way through, catching a huge snap oversteer. What a drift by Luke Lucchesi, trying to keep up the momentum. Absolutely great stuff. Stephen Cakebread fighting it out with Engelbrecht as they still keep it close to one another throughout the run. And it's going to be nose to tail, late on the brakes, swings the car in. Engelbrecht staying on the back of Stephen Cakebread, hoping that he can get that little bit of momentum. A lot of the drivers coming off the back of the Bathurst 12 hour in iRacing, and is still in for a phenomenal charge all the way through, and really showing off some great drive nonetheless, hoping to really go and put their best foot forward throughout it all. Going to be a tough time out there, and I think many of these drivers are going to be sitting, scratching their heads, wondering, what do we need to do to carry that little bit of momentum to get one up on the entire field? And it's not going to be an easy one, though. They're going to have to really focus on the fight right the way through, and who will be going and clawing their way to victory. We do see the likes of Stephen Cakebread still trying to fight it out, hoping that he can get that little bit closer to the likes of Jan Engelbrecht. So great running in the order there. And just a bit of an interesting run for those who are interested in a little bit of what Ryan Ottens did in iRacing. 3rd place of Split 34. You know, the team managing to get 3rd place in the Daytona 24. And also getting the GT3 Fanatec Challenge fixed. Going and getting a win in the official series in the GT3 Fanatec iRacing fixed series. And well done to Ryan Ottens. That was also in 2024. So really good to see how much effort that was done, as we do see Stephen Cakebread falling into the pits, getting himself sorted, and will be going and serving his pit stop. Julian Familiaris a little bit further back. Luke Lucchesi still in 2nd place, hanging on the back of him. Paul Gerber trying his luck. Sergei Sarkov going and getting past a couple of back markers ahead of Dimitri Pravadis. Race Pitcher still leading out the BMWs with Bert Kildenace still within arm's reach of him, and will be fighting it out. Robbie Teen's a little bit further back. Jan Engelbrecht trying to carry a lot of momentum through at the moment. Stephen Cakebread, Willem Pienaar will be waiting in the pit lane, as Yasemai looking to overcut them at this point, trying everything he can to make up some time through it all. So drivers still putting in that extra effort to ensure that they stay in for the fight. Yasemai gaining 2 positions, as we do see the likes of Stephen Cakebread leaving pit lane only now to try and get it done and dusted. They do have that mandatory pit stop to serve, and so far, Yasemai has served his pit stop along with Stephen Cakebread. Willem Pienaar, Werner Swart, Fanny Kremenstein, Nico Killerman, Noah Hendricks has done 2 stops, unfortunately, due to damage. But it is still our front runners, Julian Familiaris, Luke Lucchesi, Paul Gerber, along with Sergei Sarkov, who are trying, oh, big dive on Fanny Kremenstein, and now we'll have Fanny trying to battle it out to keep ahead of the likes of Nico Killerman, chasing down behind as they fight their way through. So a couple of drivers still needing to stop right the way down to 4th fourth place of our BMWs needing to get their pit stop done and dusted. It is a mandatory one to serve during the course of this race, and you need to try and get it done and dusted in a good amount of time. Halfway through the race has always been a great run, and for the drivers to really push their way through. Niall Bullion going and passing on his condolences to Ryan Otten's family and friends, and going and echoing the words of a big loss to the world of sim racing and to local motorsport here in South Africa. It's really gone and touched the hearts of all. That's coming all the way from the logistical nightmare racing iRacing team driver Niall Bullion, going and reaching out. Fortunately not able to race due to work, but we do appreciate you going and sending in the loves and wishes to all the friends and families as we take a look back on a phenomenal time. Maurice and Bert Gildenhuys going and fighting it out. They're absolutely giving it they all to try and keep it going. But so far, Gildenhuys keeping picture close at bay as they starting to catch up to Nico Kilman and Farley Cravenstein up ahead. Remember, they've done their pit stops, and these two still needing to, and it does look like both deciding. I don't think Bert's plan was to dive into the pits. He's just following Maurice at this point, trying to stop the undercut, both diving into the pits. So this is going to be interesting as Dimitri Privadis comes trying to make his way through, but Robbie Teens is going to be keeping a very close on this, because Robbie Teens and Jan Engelbrecht, the last two of the BMWs, still yet to do their final pit stop during the course of this race. They will need to get it done and dusted, switch out tires, back out and racing. And we do see Luke Lucchese dives into the pits. That's going to leave Julian Familiaris out there alone, and Luke trying to go for the undercut to make it work. Paul Gerber, what is he going to do for the team tryhard? Going and bottoming the car out on the right-hand side. He's going to keep up the pressure and keep going. Luke Lucchese will drop down to third. Will Sergei Sarkov be the next one to try and make his way by? Getting on the power early on. Gets a little bit of a flick, but he is going to straight line it. Not going to get into the pits, but he is going to chase down as we do see the likes of Noah Hendricks losing the rear. Luke Lucchese comes out behind Sergei Sarkov and will now need to go back onto the chase. Nonetheless, let's see if the RDSA Pantera racing machine of Luke Lucchese will be able to bring out that inner Ryan Artson style and absolutely get that aggressive bite into him to try and make up some ground. We've seen it in the past where Luke's not afraid to go and touch it a little bit of the wild side and send it to get his passes done and dusted. And I'm hoping to see exactly that again. Maurice Pritchard fighting out with Gildenhuys at the moment. And this is still a monumental fight. Both have done their pit stop and still trying to keep their way going. Not going to be an easy one. Stephen Cakebread getting the pass on Jan Engelbrecht, who went through pit lane. Noah Hendricks, unfortunately, waiting in pit lane as we do see Farney Cravenstein trying to launch his way around. Nico Killerman, hard on the tail though, will continue to carry a lot of momentum through, sliding the car around, really doing everything he can to get it sorted. Paul Gerber now into the pits, will be getting his pit stop done and dusted, and will release the likes of Julian Familiaris and Sergei Sarkov to do yet another lap. Dimitri Privadis and Robbie Teens still needing to get their pit stops done in their respective classes, and this is going to be a bit of a wild one for them. Going and taking a huge gamble that late into the race as we at 26 minutes into this 45-minute race, and here comes a couple of our V8s absolutely screaming at one another, trying to make their way through, and I think that would be the likes of... Oh, it was Sergei Sarkov who got a huge tank slapper trying to make his way through. That is going to allow Luke Lucchese. It was a pass, actually, between Luke Lucchese and Sergei Sarkov that we just missed out this quickly. Go back to that and see how the pass was done and dusted. So Luke Lucchese looked at Sergei, who got caught up behind our first and second in the BMW class. And Luke Lucchese saying thank you very much on the run here as he takes a dive on the inside and utilizing that raw power of the V8 to really stomp on past the competition, and will carry on through. So Sergei Sarkov now running down in third place will need to carefully get around the likes of Maurice Pitcher and Gildenace and really sliding that car around. Not going to have an easy time. And here's where the V8's going to kick in to get it past the inlines as they fight their way through. Oh, just couldn't do it. No room as the likes of Bert and Maurice still fighting it out between one another. They don't have to yield the position, but they can't really fight. In turn, you don't want to lose out the bit of momentum, and this is where it's going to work out for Maurice, who tries to close that door, thankfully, having Sergey lose that momentum and nearly losing it in front of him. And Bert Gildenace having to lock on the anchors a little bit there, seeing this big burly V8, unfortunately, going a bit sideways in front of them. So, monumental run all the way through. Luke Lucchesi back up into second place, will continue his fight onto Julian Familiaris. Sergei Sarkov still yet to pit. So is Dmitry Pravadas. They all keep going. Sergei now into the pits. I think those rear tires have decided for him that they will not continue, and he will have to wait it out. Julian Familiaris going and putting the power down in the Chevy, hoping to climb away. Bit of a fun fact though with Julian Familiaris. In the Gen 3 Supercars, he drives the Chevrolet Camaro. In the GT3, he drives a Mustang. And how's that for a bit of a change? It's very reminiscent of his racing career. Going and driving two different brands and having a ton of fun out there. Luke Lucchesi, though, will get the informed that Julian Familiaris now into the pits. He is 1.1 kilometers away from him at current. He can still put his foot down for a possible pass here to get it done. As we do see Robbie Teens trying to get the pass on Yaz Samai. Yaz around the outside doing everything he can, but unfortunately just not able to get the momentum to keep Robbie Teens at bay. Robbie holding the inside line, does straighten up the wheel a little bit just to give himself a bit more room between himself and Yaz. And Yaz not going to back down from the fight. Yaz Samai, also a driver that has fought it out with Ryan Otten's many times in the past. Their first proper coming together was at the likes of Red Bull Ring many moons ago. Yasamai and Ryan Otten's huge sends on one another, back forth battles, and eventually landed up with the two of them really going and enjoying themselves at Red Bull Ring. And that was their first major competition blow between one another. So always great to go back and relive some of those moments, which you can also go and relive the moments as well out on our YouTube channel, where Ryan Otten's memory will forever stay as a huge point in the world of ACC and iRacing here at Raceface.Pro. Julian Familiaris, though, in the background, as we do see Yaz Samai and Robbie Teens still giving each other a bit of pressure, and they will have our leader racing up at a rate of knots, hoping to get past him, locking and really trying to get the power down early on. Third gear, whoa, big tank slapper as he caught the dirt, was able to bring it back, but I think Shirley gone and saw the stars there, as suddenly the brute force V8 revs up all the way to 9,500 RPM just to bring itself back down. And here is where the V8's going to have the power as he blasts his way through the Durant Motorsport, just absolutely making quick work of the competition in terms of the BMWs. They are far less powered, but it doesn't make it any easier to get past the competition by being on the inside line, and also to ensure that you give a bit of room. Bert Gildenace getting the pass on Maurice Pitcher as these two still continue to fight it out on the run through. Julian Familiaris leads out the pack of those that have pit stop, but with 8.6 seconds, how long can he go at the moment ahead of Luke Lucchesi? And I can tell you that Charmaine will be going and telling Luke now to go a little bit faster, dial it in, push as hard as you can, as Julian's starting to show a little bit of wear and tear on his driving style, going and sliding the car out a little bit more and not finding that grip as much as he would like. Maurice on the back of Bert, trying everything he can. Gildenace going and driving a very wide car, stuck on the outside, carries a lot of momentum. Dmitry Pravadas finally pulling into the pits and really been nursing those tires to ensure that he gets on the way through. Absolutely incredible stuff from his part, but he will be having a little bit of work as our BMWs make on by. We do see the likes of Noah Hendricks, that is likes of Werner Swart, no? That would be either Willem, no, it wasn't Willem Pienaar. That might be Jan Engelbrecht. that was running through. And Robbie Teens going at Yaz Samaya. Current Luke Lucchese running on the tail. Will be trying to get a little bit of momentum. Looks on the inside. Gently by. Doesn't bring the revs up too high to ensure that he keeps a nice, neat line on the way through. As he still gives chase to Julian Familiaris. Can just see him in the distance in that previous camera shot. And that is what he's going to be seeing out of the front windscreen. Just this little bit of an orange dot ahead of him. And hoping they can stay in for the fight. Nonetheless, Maurice trying everything he can. Has got Bert Kildenace just ahead of him. And the number 4, Willem Pienaar, will be running in the order. He doesn't want to lose out too much momentum here. As our BMW M2 CS go and fight their way through. These are TCX cars for anyone that's interested in the world of motorsport. So you got your TCR cars, and these would be the TCX, which is they're rear-wheel drive front-engine vehicles instead of front-engine front-wheel drive cars in the world of touring. So, fun fact in the world of Raceface.Pro, but a huge running there, as we do see that Martini-coloured, big, monstrous Gen 3 supercar recently going and having a huge amount of fun out on Bathurst and many circuits like bouncing around over in the world of Australia. Now having a good go at trying to get past these two just ahead of him. Unfortunately, they are back markers, and Dimitri Privadas can't get past them as they're in a fight. And I don't think they're worrying about their mirrors. Oh, Dimitri Privadas late on the anchors. Something so easy to do with the car, considering balance comes into the fray of it. And also, there's no traction control on these cars. There's no ABS. So you're going to have to really work hard. Unfortunately, those Gen 3 supercars are seriously punishing. And for anyone that's able to power their way to the top, has really shown off some proper hard skill. Where the BMW M2's a bit slower paced. They've got traction control and ABS, but they do require a lot of thought process of what you're going to do, how you're going to balance the car out and keep going without landing in the dirt. Pretty much like racing a Formula V on the world, just the tin-top version, or the Mazda MX-5s. We're very welcoming to new drivers, but are difficult to master on the way through it. The Gen 3 supercars do lend themselves to more of the pros to ensure that you keep in for a great fight and require a lot of balance. So definitely one of two parts here, and two of the most current vehicles in the sim being these two, as we do have our beautiful liner flying through in the background there. Beautiful shot of it. But so far, Maurice Pitcher looks for the inside line. He has got one of our Gen 3s diving up on the inside, trying to get the pass done and dusted. I think that's Sergei Sokov, if I'm correct. Yes, it is. Going and getting a monster of a drive. And, oh, Bert Kildenace into the dirt, killed his drive. Now, Maurice having a look at him, trying to come back at him, and quick scuff of the tyres there. And just saying, oh, I'm not going to get too involved. So, likes of Bert Kildenace loves to see another day holding his position, but only just as landing up off track, with likes of Maurice still chasing down, hoping they can gain a little bit of time. A little bit further back, though, we got Yaz Samai, who is running in third in class. But it's Julian Familiaris leading out the pack of our Gen 3 supercars, and currently overall with Luke Lucchese running in second. Paul Gerber in fourth, along with fifth place Sergei Serkov, along with Dimitri Privadas running in fifth. Going a little bit further down into our BMWs, it is Bert Kildenace going and with the tail end of him being the likes of Maurice Pitcher, not backing down. 0.2 of a second between these two as they look to try go around the outside. Can't really get it all tucked in to stay in for the fight, but will wait it out. Yaz Samai is running in third. Robbie Teens and Stephen Cakebread. Jan Engelbrecht, there's Willem Pienaar, Werner Swart still maintaining a very close gap to Willem Pienaar as they try and make their way through. The Alta Carbon Racing looks for the inside line. Couldn't get the pass done and dusted. We'll have to wait it out. Julian Familiaris will be seeing these two duke it out as Werner Swart trying to carry the momentum through. Couldn't quite get the power on, and we'll have to wait it out yet again. Werner Swart looks for the inside line. Going to go late on the anchors. Can he get it done, though, as he launches himself past the likes of Pienaar? Pienaar not going and worrying too much, as here comes Julian Familiaris making short work of the two, and will continue on the drive. And this is going to open the door for the likes of Pienaar, who has it firmly shut by Werner Swart, and one of our big V8's now trying to go and slam on by Dmitry Pravadas. We saw landing up in the dirt a little bit earlier. Now trying to get a little bit more momentum. Back up towards our big fight happening. Still in the BMW M2s, and still a great one. Kildenace in picture having a great go at one another. 0.1 of a second. With currently Maurice not able to find the driver. Quick tab of the brakes. Just trying everything he can to settle the car and carry the momentum through. Holds a very tight inside line. Couldn't quite carry the momentum there to ensure he stays in for the fight as they continue on the drive in the battle for their class. BMW M2s have provided such a great one, and it's going to be side by side as the drivers really put the hammer down. So far, Maurice just not having that straight line back into the toe, though, as they both exactly at the same time hit the anchors to get themselves sorted out for the final two corners. And it does look like Bert just carrying that little bit momentum, trying to snap the toe a little bit as they see Julian Familiaris, who will try and look for a bit of a pass as they will get through turn one. But turn two is a different story for Julian. He does not want to slow down, knowing Luke Lucchese can still be a very viable threat behind him and go and fight out for the order. Will go around the outside, stuck on the marbles, switches the inside, gets a bit unsettled, and that opens up the door a little bit for Maurice to have a look. Not too much for the likes of Bert Kildenace to lose his position, but just enough to get a little bit unsettled. Lose that 0.10 or 0.1 of a bit of momentum. And now needs to keep in for the fight as they run out wide. And Maurice once again very, very close. Slowly building up a bit of incident points there. Every off track can become a huge issue as you battle your way through, and you've got to be so cautious for that as we jump on the roll bar in the BMW M2 CS, as we do keep an eye on Maurice trying to close up back at third gear and feeds on the power, trying to come back at likes of Bert Kildenace ahead, who has done a phenomenal job to hold position as these two have been fighting it out. All drivers have done all their pit stops and will be continuing on the drive till the very end at this point. So far, our BMW is having a stunning effort here at Raceface.Pro for round 3 of the Supercars and BMW M2s here at the stunning track of Donington. But while we're talking about first and second, let's take a look at third place. Yasimai and Robbie Teens now closed up on one another, and they will be fighting out for their third place spot, their final spot on the podium. And it's going to be all or nothing, having one of the big burly V8s coming and launching their way by. That is the 35 car of Sergei Sarkov, trying to line himself up and really getting run out a little bit wide. There's Robbie Teens trying to utilize the slipstream to get the run. And what a move to try get the pass done and dusted over. Yasimai, yes, a little bit across the nose there. Was able to defend the position, but a little bit of a scuff between the two of them. Rubbing his racing, and get ready with those deck chairs because it is getting a bit wild out on the circuit as they fight their way through. Maurice and Bert now will go and deal with our likes of our big Gen 3 Supercars, as Dmitry Pravadas is now blue flag with Luke Lucchese on the back of him. And these two are going to have to work together a little bit to try and combat the likes of BMWs. Well, Luke Lucchese didn't give Dmitry a bit of an opportunity there. Dmitry gives him a little bit of space and said, go on by. And instantly, Luke Lucchese, not hanging around, looks around the outside. He's going to try and put himself into a good position to try and move his way up through the order, not to land in too much of a fight. And we'll see the likes of Bert just ahead of him, and will probably wait out for the straight line. So he's just going to wait it out. Dmitry Pravadas gets the pass, and that does open up the gap between Bert and the likes of Maurice at the moment, who will continue on the drive. And Luke Lucchese losing only a second in that little scuffle to the likes of Julian Familiaris. It is a long time, but he is still out there, still putting in a huge effort as Julian Familiaris slides his way by. Only less than 4 minutes to go. Let's say going on 3 minutes at the moment, where we will see the likes of Julian Familiaris come across the line to try and take that first place. But it's all or nothing. In the world of motorsports, It isn't about calling it now, because anything can happen. Anything will happen. As we've seen in the past, when you think drivers won't be able to, drivers have closed up those gaps. They've really pushed themselves to the limit, and with tonight being such a night of carrying the likes of Ryan Ottens on their shoulders and on their hearts, they want to put in the best performances possible across both classes of our Gen 3 Supercars, which at the moment, and it will be for Season 1, Ryan Ottens will be the champion of our Gen 3 Supercars and share the championship with one of our champions in the season. So Season 1, the inaugural season of the Gen 3 Supercars and BMW M2s, Ryan Ottens will hold that crown alongside his competitors. And that was a decision made by the entire Raceface community in iRacing to say, that's what we're doing. Julian Familiaris, Luke Lucchesi, Paul Gerber, Sergei Sarkov, Dimitri Pravadas, everyone coming to the front and saying that crown is part of it, and it will be an honor to share the crown with the legend of Ryan Ottens. So it weighs a lot more than usual, and despite being no prize, it is true honors to be working alongside talented individual that in legacy will continue to live on in the world of Raceface and in sim racing alongside motorsport in the world, and will be missed by everyone, not only just here on the grids of Raceface, but also those across communities across the world, here in South Africa, his team, his friends, his family, and everyone going and putting in that extra bit of effort here tonight. And you can so see it in the fight for our BMWs as it's Bert Hilton. They're sliding and bouncing. Maurice also hanging the car out, just doing everything he can to continue on this momentum, carry on the drive. Their times are so close to one another, 1:14.1 and 1:14.2 going, and between the likes of Bert and Reese as they fight it out. Julian Familiaris counting down half a second till he was able to take the finish line, and will be taking the checkered flag on such a momentous occasion here at Raceface.Pro. We do not mourn Ryan Ottens, but we celebrate his life, his legacy, and his racing, and will continue to live on as the checkered flag waves. Julian Familiaris will take the win. Was that the checkered? No, that looked to be the white flag. Apologies. So Julian Familiaris having one more lap to give it everything he's got. Luke Lucchesi a little bit further back, 14th position, as we do see Willem Pienaar coming out, not wanting to give up the fight. He wants to see the check flag as well, and will be chasing down Luke Lucchesi. Will be carrying a lot of momentum through side by side with our BMWs. Paul Gerber getting the flag as well, told, keep going, buddy. You need to keep up the momentum. Sergei Sarkov getting past the likes of, that would be Nico Killerman on the way through. So Ryan Ottens going and fighting it out, and a little bit of words coming in from our team, going and talking about crossing the line together. And it's Julian Familiaris radioing in to go and talk about it. And they will be crossing the line together. So let's see if we can get a radio contact to the guys. Just a call out. Julian Familiaris is going slow for side by side across the line. Luke Lucchesi joining. So a bit of a side by side moment as they come across the line, acknowledging what a way to finish and celebrating the life and honors. First place goes to Julian Familiaris. Luke Lucchesi takes second, but crossing the line together, and it is just a celebration to the likes of Ryan Ottens. And like Ryan Ottens was, a bit of a hooligan out on the circuit, we will see the V8s go live. We will see them spin around. We will see the drivers showing off Julian Familiaris takes the win. Luke Lucchese going and throwing the car around as we jump on the roll bar as he drifts it round, giving a bit of smoke, giving a bit of love, and will be really hammering it on as many of our drivers are giving their final goodbyes to the legend of Ryan Ottens. Whether you're in a V8, whether you're in a BMW, this is a show of a farewell, of honor, a goodbye, and we'll see you later to an incredible competitor, incredible father, an incredible family man, mentor, sim racer, and friend. To one of our own, our petrol heads, Ryan Ottens, your legacy will live on. Your competition will be on. An acknowledgement from all our drivers to Ryan Ottens, our champion for Season 1, who will share the crown for our Gen 3 Supercars here at Raceface.Pro. A massive thank you to all our drivers. We're gonna try and bring as many drivers as possible to come and say their farewells in the commentary box. So this is a call out to the drivers. Yes, I see you here. Julian Familiaris, Luke Lucchese, Paul Gerber. We're going to try and bring our top 3 in, but I want to get as many people in before the power goes out, just to say their part on the man, the myth, the legend, before Escom decides to turn us off. We got Paul Gerber. Let's bring him in after his race. Paul Gerber, welcome to the commentary box. Glad to have you here. And what a race. I mean, an absolute fight out for you to get to the line. 3rd place in such a momentous occasion here at Raceface.Pro, and acknowledging one of our own and one of the finest in sim racing, Ryan Ottens. How are you feeling?
How's it, Stephen? Yeah, it was a lonely race. I think the grid was quite small due to load shedding and everything, but overall, I was quite happy. I think that was pretty much my pace. Couldn't keep up with the guys in front. But it was a bit of a weird race for me. Also we're quite wouldn't say good friends with Ryan, but knew him quite well from the ACC days, right in the beginning. So it was. I've been thinking about him the whole day, and really condolences to all the family and friends and everybody. And I think, we should keep on racing, and I'm pretty sure wherever he is, he's looking down and probably saying he's missing out. So cheers, Ryan.
As one of the team trial drivers going and fighting out, thank you very much, Paul, and well done on your 3rd place in the Gen 3 Supercars. Now, I'm sure Ryan will be looking down and going, well, you could have taken that corner a little bit quicker.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, cool. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
And let's bring up 2nd place, Luke Lucchese of our Gen 3 Supercars. Luke, well done on your 2nd place here tonight. A huge fight for you. And trying to really throw the hammer down at Julian Familiaris throughout the race, but also really showing off some talents out there. Usual competitor that you're fighting with, Ryan Ottens, not on the track with you physically, but I'm sure you were trying to put a little bit of a Ryan Otten flair in your passes around the BMWs, around the outside, in the marbles and such.
Yeah, I know it was a good race. I messed it up in the pits by overshooting my pit box. There's even less grip in the pits than there is on the track with this thing. But total blast to drive. Ryan will be so missed. I miss his voice in the Discord. He's normally in the Discord when we're racing these things, and we're just chatting back and forth. So, very quiet tonight. So yeah, definitely a sad day.
It's a day that we will remember, but at the same time, we remember the the good fights in the legacy. Luke, you've had many close calls with Ryan and the likes of side by side when single seaters, tin tops, and such. Any particular moment that stands out in your memory of some racing with Ryan Ottens?
There's always the possibility of him sending it somewhere, so you've always got to be very careful. And I always find myself on the Discord looking in the mirror and saying, "Hey, don't even think about it." So, yeah, I know. Fun times.
Well, Luke, congratulations on second place, scoring some really good points for the championship, moving your way up through the order. Anything you'd like to say to our amazing petrol heads out here, all our amazing partners with us here at Raceface.Pro, and also to the Ottens family, friends, and teams out there?
Yes, yeah. Well, obviously, thanks to you for the stream. Thanks to Raceface for hosting the event. You know, it's always exciting. Thanks to all the fellow competitors, you know, making the racing really enjoyable. And then obviously a big shout out to Ryan Otten's wife and his son and his whole family. You know, my sincere condolences. He was a really awesome guy. I don't think that can be understated, the impact that he had on the sim community. So he was very well liked. You know, he didn't have anybody that didn't like him. Got on with everybody, just all round like a guy. So the world has definitely lost a good soul.
I can totally agree. Thank you very much, Luke Lucchese, and congrats once again for the absolute effort. I think Ryan would be taking a look at a few of the passes there going, yeah, I could have got it there, don't worry. So,
oh, no, 100%.
Keep an eye on those mirrors, Luke. Who knows? You may have your son in the future going and chasing you down.
No, for sure. Thanks, Steve.
Luke Lucchese of the RDSA Pantera Racing going having a chat. Second place in the Gen 3 Supercars. Scoring points, let's bring up third place of our BMW M2s. Yes, Samai. Yes, you made it into the commentary box, bud. Congratulations on the third place and some close calls out there. How are you feeling?
Right. Well, thanks for pulling me in. I mean, you can't go anywhere without saying something about Ryan. I think Ryan was, I think Luke just alluded to it now, saying, you know, if he was behind you, you always, you know, something's going to happen. And I think I kind of took that into the race today, so it was fun. Yeah, it was a good battle with a few of the guys. I think there was a battle up front, and then when the traffic started coming through, we sort of spread out, had a bit of an incident. But then I just figured just continue on and keep going and managed to finish third again. So good race.
Yeah, soldiered on, and despite the incident, still pushing through it. Some great stuff there. But third place means a good set of points for the championship. How are you feeling going forward? I know this was a bit of a heavy race and all, but they're still also keeping an eye forward, much as Ryan Ottens has done many times before. One of the ones we actually went and talked about was, I think one of the big ding-dong battles you had with Ryan was Red Bull Ring and the sends up on the inside into turn one, and you two were going for it.
Yeah, no, there definitely were a few. The one you mentioned, Red Bull. There were definitely some others as well. I think there was one at Maniacore, I remember as well. So definitely there were a few. As for tonight and the championship, this is actually my first race of the season. I haven't been around much. I was hoping to get a bit more practice. I didn't basically just use the qualifying as practice tonight. But it went well. I think I probably benefited from load shedding. A few of the guys not being around. But hopefully I'll be able to race out the rest of the season, get some good results, and you don't even know how the championship will turn out in the end. I like this car. I don't think many people's going to say that, but I like this car. It reminds me of the old GT4 back in the day. One of the first cars I raced on iRacing many moons back. This car reminds me of that one. Handles very much the same. You need to keep the momentum going. If you make one mistake, you just see the car behind you, just catch up so much faster. But we'll see how the season goes. I'm enjoying it. So, good luck to the rest.
Absolutely great stuff. Yaz Samai of Asymmetric Racing. Thank you very much, Yaz, and for the kind words as well.
Thanks, Stephen. Just thank you to everybody who supports this, all the sponsors, everybody who gets behind organizing. I know Doe does a wonderful job behind the scenes, and your commentary is wonderful week after week. So just keep it up, everybody who's involved. Look forward to to always racing with you.
Great stuff. And thanks for the pedals again, eh?
No problem.
Yeah, so am I, going and really doing a great job. And finally getting that third place. And after lots and lots of fighting through the world of sim racing, and yeah, there's many battles with Ryan Ottens going and pulling off some of those wild maneuvers that we've come to know. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it does bring us to the end of tonight's standings. And what a race it's been here at Raceface.Pro. For one of the heavy races, I can say, that we've had all season. And this is definitely in remembrance to Ryan Ottens and the incredible driver he is. I won't say was, he is. He's taught many of us a lesson of pace, momentum, friendship, hardship, all the whole works of it. And whether you're in for a ding-dong battle, whether you're going to pull up a camper chair in the Discord, that's it. He's one of those guys that will keep you guessing. Let's take a look at our standings, our results after it. So winning out our BMWs is Mark Pelcher, along with Robbie Teens taking that second place and would be moving his way through. So good opportunities there. And our Gen 3 Supercars being Julian Familiaris taking the win with Luke Lucchesi. Couple of final words being sent in. Nico Kellerman from GTX and Racing Works going and putting in a goodbye to Ryan Ottens. We'll keep you in our mirrors. And farewell to him. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us here at Raceface.Pro for this absolute exciting evening of racing here at Donington for round 3. Coming up tomorrow, we have got our round 4 of our ACC GT3 Sprint Series. So you do not want to miss that. Some great racing coming there. And Thursday at 8:10, we have got our 4th round of the ACC GT3 Championship, as drivers will battle it out. Make sure you keep your eyes and ears on all the social media and Discord out here on Raceface.Pro. We will have a special race dedicated to Ryan Ottens. We do invite everyone to come be a part of it and go and put a wheel out on circuit. We invite all previous competitors and current competitors that have ever shared the track or wanted to share the track with Ryan to come and show their support. And those of new and old who are wanting to come into the world of racing, come, be a part of it. Come and enjoy the racing. And who knows, go and show a bit of support towards the likes of Ryan Ottens in some interesting way or form. We love to see it. Let us not mourn, but let us celebrate this incredible person and the lasting legacy he has had as a family man, as a driver, as a competitor, and one of us, an absolute petrolhead. For the final time, rest in peace, Ryan Ottens. And from myself, Stephen Koenig, thanks for all the ding-dongs, mate. Sorry I held you up a few times. Just wasn't quick enough. I'll get you next time, though. Sorry about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like always, we'd like to say thank you very much to you all. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon. Leave a like and let us know of your favorite memory of Ryan Ottens that you can, whether it be an ACC, iRacing, or across any sub. We'd love to hear it, even from those that fought him out on the track in his days of bikes at short circuit racing and long circuit racing. From myself, Stephen Koenig, the entire THT Productions and Raceface.Pro, we'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. And a well done, Ryan, on winning that last championship.